Hello everyone, I'm JEN-nuh-nee and this is my channel, This Story Ain't Over. And about a year ago, on January 6th of 2024, I don't know what got into me, but I decided to post this video called my 2024 physical TBR. In that video, I went through a bunch of books that were on my physical TBR that I was committing to read in 2024. Otherwise, I would have to unhaul them. Fast forward to a year later, it is January of 2025, and I already know that I have not read most of the books on this video, and I thought, let's react to this video and then kind of see my progress overall. And since I know I'll have to unhaul most of the books on this list, I thought I would make it a bit more fun and interesting by creating a new rule for myself. So we're gonna go through this video, I'm gonna react to it, I'm gonna tell you which books I read, which ones I didn't, which ones I DNF'd, which ones I already unhauled, because I did already unhaul some of them, and which ones I did not read, but which I would love to still keep in my collection because I still want to read them at some point. And for those books in particular, I will have the choice to either unhaul that book, even though I want to read it, or I can choose one other book on my entire physical collection to give up in place of that book if I really want to keep it and read it. This should be interesting. I have not peeked at all of the books on that video. I'm gonna be documenting them on my little Notion tracker as I go. So I'll put the video in one corner, I'll put the Notion tracker on the screen, and then you'll see my little face telling you how things go. Okay, we're gonna put me on double speed because I can't listen to myself. Like this.
Over a year, maybe even two, maybe even more. And I know every year I'm like, I need to read more of my physical TBR, I need to read more of my physical TBR. Over 2024, I feel like I want to give myself a little bit more motivation to actually read these books. So today I'm going to tell you about over 60 books on my physical TBR, on my long-term physical TBR, that I need to read in 2024 or else I have to unhaul them. So at the end of 2024, I'm going to go through this entire video and see which books I read, which ones I didn't. And if I didn't read them, then they're off the TBR. It has been too long and I need to give up on them. And I feel like this will be a nice way to just purge some books on my TBR, but also stop me from buying more books. I feel like this will be an interesting and also very, very challenging experiment. But the one thing about this is that I know I'm not going to read all of these books, but I just need to challenge myself to read as many of them that I care about as I can before I have to unhaul them at the end of 2024.
In theory, the idea makes sense, but like I had a really busy year in 2024, so I don't know where in the hell I thought I could do this, but regardless, it's fine.
60 books on this list, and I've actually kind of organized them by which month I think I might get to them. In 2024, I'm hoping to sort of theme my TBRs each month based off of certain
Oh my god, I just said that there's almost 60 books on this TBR, so we'll see.
genres or certain videos that I want to do. So you're going to get a little sneak peek of what's to come in 2024 as well. Now, I don't really think it needs to be said, but since there's so many books on this list, I am not going to tell you too much about each because then this video would be like 8 years long. So starting with January, I have the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. So I have the first book, and I have the third book.
Oh god.
So that's why I have the third one and the first one. I do need to grab the...
Alright, Before the Coffee Gets Cold and Before Your Memory Fades. I have not read either of these. I am screwed. These are like cozy, translated fiction fantasies. I would like to keep these. I think we're gonna go through the whole list and then I'm gonna decide which books to sacrifice for which, and I'm tracking this on my Notion tracker. Did not read these. Okay.
A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Seth I've talked about this so many times.
Okay, A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches I did read, so I'm very proud of myself for that. Highly recommend. Super cozy fantasy, adorable, has a romance, and has some witchiness. Super cute.
Fantasy by an author that I've never actually read from before, but I know so many people love, and that is Ava Reed, and she's written The Wolf and the Witchman and Jupiter Thorn.
Ooh, the Ava Reed books. I've been meaning to read them. I ended up actually reading one of her books that I did not own. It was A Study in Drowning. I think it was part of my Reading Booktubers Favorite Books of 2023 video, and I actually really enjoyed that one. But it was funny because that book is one of her YAs, and the two that I actually owned prior to that were adult books, and you guys know I've been reading more adult. So honestly, I had no excuse for not reading these, but here we are.
February is of course Valentine's month, so I'm thinking I may just read only romances for the month. We'll see. So I have a bunch of romances on my physical TBR that I haven't yet read. First, I have The Singles Table by Sarah Desai. This is like the second in a series of like companion novels, I believe, and they all feature South Asian main leads. Fermentation by Lex Croucher. This is actually an arc that I got like a year or two ago. I can't really remember. And Women by Ethan Ayatollah. I bought this book after I saw it on Instagram, and I thought that the cover was just so gorgeous. So that's the main reason why I bought it. I got the X-Hex by Erin Sterling. This is
okay. So I just put in those 4 romances. The Singles Table I've had on my list for so long, and I still haven't gotten around to reading it. So I feel like I just need to get rid of it. But I feel like the reason I keep hesitating is because it's by a South Asian author, and so I'm like, I should really read it. But I feel like at this point, maybe it's time to let it go. Reputation by Lex Croucher, I feel like I'm never gonna actually get around to, so I'll probably unhaul that one as well. And then the X-Hex I actually read, so kudos to me, even though I didn't really love it. And then the Bennett Woman is one that I honestly wish I had gotten to at some point, but I also feel like it's just gonna be mediocre, and so maybe that's why I don't want to read it. I don't know.
Heart Principle by Helen Wong. I read Kiss Quotient by this author and I really, really loved it. It has autism representation as well, which I really love seeing. Alright, next we have the March books. Again, these books may shift in months. I might read them in different months than I'm saying in this video, but we'll see. So first I have My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I've heard so many great things about this book and I have been putting off reading it for ages, so I want to get to it. And then I have a translated fiction, which is Violets by Kyung Suk Shin. I've heard so many amazing things about this book. And then I have a couple books by Toni Morrison. So I have The Bluest Eye and Beloved. I bought these ages ago. The Orange I Have to Make Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. This book is so big and chunky, so I feel that's the main reason why I've been putting off reading it.
All right, there was a few in there. So Heart Principle I have not read. My Dark Vanessa I haven't read. Violets I haven't read. The Bluest Eye and Beloved by Toni Morrison I have not read. And then Plain Bad Heroines, I think I actually unhauled this one because I vaguely recall thinking it was so chunky and then hearing some comments from all of you saying that it actually wasn't that great. So I believe I've already unhauled this, but I will double check.
Yeah, April, and this is where I'm going to tackle a lot of the fantasies that have been on my backlist for ages. So first up I have Gods of JEN-nuh-nee by Sylvia Garcia book that I have not read yet. I absolutely love her as an author. Next I have The Oleander Sword by Tasha Suri. This is the sequel to Jasmine Throne. If you've read that book, it's basically a sapphic romance and involves an ancient India as a fantasy world. Next I have this really nice edition of The Once and Future Witches by Alice Carroll. I think I got this in a book box like way back. This is the author of Starling House, which I read recently and really loved. So I feel like maybe I should give this a shot and I might really enjoy it. I had just not thought about picking this up because I didn't think I would enjoy it. So now I'm a little bit more excited for it. Next I have the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin.
Okay, Gods of Jade and Shadow I have not read, which I can't believe I haven't. Oleander Sword I have not read either. I really did want to get to it. Once and Future Riches I also didn't get to. 5th season I did read and I did love, and yay for me.
Fantasy is one that I've had on my TBR for like over 4 years, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Jade City by Farnell Leeds is another one I've had on my TBR for ages, and I've heard so many great things about the series. And I have Piranesi by Susanna Clark. I know a lot of people who love this book. I do believe it's one of those books that's more like vibes than plots. I think that's why I've been putting off reading it, because as we all know, I have a very short attention span and need some plot to keep me going. Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. This is a mythology retelling following the character Ariadne. Speaking of retelling, the last book I have for April is Darling Girl by Liz Napolsky. This is a video cam retelling, but involves a mother who is trying to protect her daughter. First up I have Fiona and Jane by Jane Chen-ho. I've had this on my TBR for ages. Next I have The Boat People by Sharon Ella. I actually started reading this one ages ago, but I've never gotten around to finishing it. So if you want to see it, I'll be interested in it again, and if I can pick it up and finish it. The Goddess Melting by R. Leroy. I had some TBR for a South Asian literature class at university, but we didn't end up getting to it in the course. Next I have 3 books by the same author. That's Sham Salvadore. So I've got Funny Boy, Cinnamon Gardens, and The Hungry Ghost. And then I've got Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng.
Okay, there's a lot of books just then. Name of the Wind I did not read. Jade City I didn't read. Piranesi I did not read, but I do have it on my TBR for an upcoming vlog, so I'll have to keep that one. Ariadne I did not read. I'm not super keen on reading it. Darling Girl, same thing. Fiona and Jane, I think I tried to start and then I didn't. I may have already unhauled this one as well, but I need to check. The Boat People I have started before. I have not gotten back to it, but it is by a Sri Lankan Tamil author, so I feel that I should try to finish it. And then I've got The God of Small Things, Funny Boy, Cinnamon Gardens, Hungry Ghosts, all South Asian authors, so I know I need to keep them. Everything I Never Told You, I think I tried to start, but I wasn't feeling it at the time, so I think I need to give it another chance. But we'll see.
Gold Diggers by Sanjana Satyan. This is a book that I saw recommended by Roshni Chokshi, who is one of my favorite authors.
The author of this book, Sanjana Satyan, is actually coming out with a new book in 2025, and it's called The Goddess Complex. I actually got a digital arc of it, so I'm planning to read it soon, but so far from what I could tell from the concept, it seemed pretty cool, and so I feel that I should keep Gold Diggers in case I may actually really like her books.
And then I got Possible Illusions by Chitra Banerjee Deepakuni. And then last for me, I have 2 books by Anup Pradhasan, and I have The Story of the Root Marriage and The Passage North. And this author is a Tamil Sri Lankan author, and both of these books involve the Sri Lankan Civil War, so I've been interested in reading more books sort of set that period and from that author.
I did read A Passage North, so yay! I've read like 2 books on this list so far.
Alright, then in June I have one main book that I need to pick up, and that is For Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. I read this author's memoir, which is
I keep putting this book off.
Alright, in July I'm hoping to get through a lot of the mystery books that I have on my TBR. So first up I have Diary for Aunties by Jessie Kusutanto. This is another book
I read this.
years now, and I keep
Unfortunately, Diary for Aunties I did not like as much as I was hoping, so there may be the case that I do actually unhaul this one.
In the Woods by Marie Johnson. This is the 4th book in the Truly Devious series, and I really, really love that series. Next I've got Things We Do in the Dark by Jack Hillier. Next I've got The Christie Affair by Nina de Gramont. This was a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. The last book I have for July is All of Her Little Secrets by Wanda and Morris. I feel like I haven't been really reading much sci-fi in the last couple years, so I'm hoping to change that in 2024. So first I have The Memory Police by Yuko Ogawa. This is a bit of a like literary fiction, but also science fiction. Next I have Version Zero by David Yoon. And then I've got Severance by Nick Mann. I've heard that this book is more of a literary fiction, but it does involve
Read this one.
And then I've got a sequel that I've been meaning to pick up for ages. We'll see. I might pick this one up before August, but if not, definitely in August. And that is The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin. This is the sequel to The City We Became. I love that book. Next I've got a couple books by Kazuo Ishiguro. So I've got Never Let Me Go and Color in the Sun. This one
Read Never Let Me Go.
And then next I've got a couple of short story collections by Ted Chiang. So I've got The Stories of Your Life and Others, and then Exhalation. Alright, then I've got one of the most classic sci-fis ever, and that is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler.
Did read this one. Absolutely loved Kindred. Like, absolutely fantastic book.
And the final thing I want to pick up in August is Black Sun by Rebecca Rosemars. A series and
I didn't read this one.
And then in September, I'm going to get into some dark academia and also some horror as we get into October. So first I've got Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is a gothic classic novel that I've heard so many amazing things about. I really do want to get up. And then I've got a couple YA Dark Academias, and both of these I've heard sort of mixed things about, so we'll see if I actually end up enjoying them. I might end up starting them and then DNFing them if I'm not feeling them. So the first is A Deadly Education by JEN-nuh-nee, and then I've got The Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria P. And then a bit randomly, I've got The Time Traveler's Wife by JEN-nuh-nee. Oh my god.
I think I unhauled this.
And then finally, first cover, I've got Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. This is a bit of a haunted house story, but also a bit of a thriller from what I've heard. I've also heard good things from this author. She's several other books that are on a similar vibe, sort of like macro realism.
Did not read this one.
And then for October, I have a couple of horrors that I want to pick up. So first, I've got Liquid by Megan Giddings. This is a good body.
I keep putting this one off.
I just got horror by one of my favorite authors ever, and that is Timothy Jackson, and this is her book, The Weight of Blood. This is one of her newer novels, and it's a bit of a slasher novel. That is My Heart's a Chainsaw by Stephen Grant Jones. Next, I got another horror book by an author that I actually really enjoy, and that is Grady Hendrix. This is The Final Girl Support Group. The reason I want to read this one is because it basically involves a bunch of these girls who are like final girls after like slashers, you know, at the end of like a horror movie, and they're all this sort of like therapy support group together.
The funny thing about this book is that I did end up reading a different Grady Hendrix book over the past year, but not this one. Recently, I actually just got approved for an arc of Grady Hendrix's next book, which is coming out in 2025 or this year. So yeah, I'm just out of order, really.
I finally got this like horror slash fantasy book, and that is The Bone Orchard by Sarah A. Mueller. It involves like a prophecy and a murder mystery. So first I got There by Tony Orange. I also don't know anything about this book, but I've heard some really incredible literary fiction, and I know the author's coming out with a new book in 2024 as well. And then next I want to read Split Tooth by Tanya Taga. I've heard really amazing things about this book.
Shoot, I didn't realize this was on the list.
And then I got The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. I really love John Green as an author and as a person.
Yeah, Anthropocene Reviewed, I feel like I had meant to read, and then honestly, I just didn't care for it. Like, I looked through the table of contents, and I wasn't that interested in any of the topics. Oh, My Body. Someone mentioned to me that it wasn't that great rep in terms of like, I think it's like disability rep or something like that. And so I decided to unhaul it.
But I have one book on the list for December 2024, and that is Nettle and Bone by T.K. Fisher. This is a fairy tale like.
I think I unhauled this one.
With that said, those are all the books on this ridiculously long-term TBR video.
Oh my god, that's crazy. I did not realize how many of these books I have not read. So let's tally, first of all. Okay, so there were 66 books on this video, if I calculated right. And let's see how many I actually read. Boo boo. Okay, so out of 66 books, I read 8 of them, which is honestly quite sad, and here we are. However, out of those ones, 6 of them I definitely liked and would like to keep those books. So I can mark the other 2 that I didn't really like, which was The Ex-Hex and Dilate for Aunties, as unhaul. And that means I can use each of them as a sacrificial book for one of the books that I did not read. Okay, let's flip to the books that I started but I did not finish. So the books I DNF'd are The Boat People, which again was by a Sri Lankan author, so I feel like I want to keep this one. Everything I Never Told You, I feel that I should keep this one because I really liked Little Fires Everywhere, so we'll put that as keep. Palace of Illusions, I feel like I have been saying I'll read this one for ages, but I never get around to it, so I think we're gonna unhaul. All Her Little Secrets, I think I already unhauled this one, but I'll have to check. The Memory Police, I seriously do want to read, and it's a translated fiction, so I'm gonna keep it. The ones I already unhauled include Plain Bad Heroines, The Box in the Woods, A Deadly Education, A Lesson in Vengeance, The Time Traveler's Wife, The Anthropocene Reviewed, My Body, and Nettle and Bone. And now we're gonna go through the ones I did not read. Okay, Before the Coffee Gets Cold and Before Your Memory Fades, I feel that I want to keep these ones. So let's put those down. Juniper and Thorn and Wolf and the Woodsman, I feel that I want to keep them as well, but I'm also kind of like, will I even read these ones? The Bennett Women and The Heart Principle, I seriously feel like I'm probably not gonna get around to these ones. So I'm gonna put down The Heart Principle as unhaul. I feel like the Bennett Women I'm a little bit more interested in, so I'm gonna hang on to that for a second. I've already put My Dark Vanessa, Violets, The Bluest Eye, Beloved, Gods of Jade and Shadow, The Oleander Sword, all as keep. I really wanna still read those ones. Once and Future Witches, I am tempted to keep because I feel like it'll be good because I liked The Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. However, I didn't love it. Like, it was good, but it wasn't the best book I've ever read. So I am tempted to say that Once and Future Witches, I'm probably gonna feel whatever about. So I'm gonna put it as unhaul. Name of the Wind, I am ripping off the Band-Aid. I am giving it up because I've had it for years and I know it's a series that has not been finished. And the fact that it hasn't been finished in the like several years since I acquired the first book. I think it's been like 5 or 6 years now. Does not give me any sense of confidence. So we're gonna unhaul it. Jade City, I feel that I should keep because so many people have told me that it's amazing. So for now, we're gonna put this as keep. Ariadne, I don't feel particularly strongly about, and I don't feel the inclination to pick it up anytime soon. So we're gonna put it as unhaul. Same with Darling Girl. Fiona and Jane, I think I've already unhauled, but I can't remember, so I need to check, so I'll just put this as unhaul for now. These ones in between I've put as keep because they're all by South Asian authors, or Her Body and Other Parties I know I want to read at some point, so I'm gonna keep it there. I love the author's other book, In the Dream House, so I know that I'll probably love this one. So we're gonna keep it for now. Things We Do in the Dark, honestly, I'm not the biggest thriller reader, and although I would like to read more, I just feel like a lot of them rarely capture me all that well in the first like few chapters, and so therefore I just don't end up reading them. So this one I don't feel very strongly about, so I'm gonna unhaul. Christie Affair, same thing, I'm not feeling very strongly about it. Version 0, I feel like I already unhauled, but maybe I didn't, so I'm gonna check, but we're gonna put it as unhaul. I don't really feel strongly about this story anymore or feel like I want to read it, so that's where we're at. Clara in the Sun, something in me has the feeling that I already unhauled this. The World We Make, Stories of Your Life, and Exhalation I'm definitely keeping. Black Sun, I feel that I need to keep, I guess. Rebecca, I'm definitely keeping. I already have another version of it, which is like this really nice vintage version. So perhaps I could unhaul this copy from the video in favor of keeping the nicer version, but I kind of want to keep both, so I'm gonna think about it. Just Like Home, honestly, I don't feel so strongly about this one, so I may actually unhaul it. Lakewood, I definitely want to keep because I think it's gonna be really good. The Weight of Blood, I honestly don't see myself picking this one up anytime soon. My Heart is a Chainsaw and the Final Girl Support Group, I do really want to read, so I'm gonna keep those. The Bone Orchard, honestly, I don't feel strongly about this one, and I have had it on my shelves for a while, so I'm gonna unhaul that. And then There and Split Tooth are by 2 Indigenous authors, and I definitely want to get to them at some point. I'm actually kind of kicking myself that I didn't get to them in 2024. So those ones I am keeping. So now I just have to go through the ones that I didn't choose yet. The Bennett Woman. I'm gonna keep this if I can. Juniper and Thorn and Wolf and the Woodsman. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna get to these this year. I feel like there's just so many amazing books that I've recently acquired or that I know are coming out and that I know I wanna read in 2025, and I just know that some of these I'm never gonna actually read, so I feel like it's just time to move on. Unhaul, unhaul. Okay, so now that we have put in a verdict for each of these, we're going to filter for the ones that I've said I'm gonna keep. So of the 66 books that were on that original video, it would appear that 31 of them are ones that I either did not read or I DNF'd, but that I would still like to keep. So I've got the 2 books that I read that I don't want to keep as sacrificial books for a couple here. So now I need to find like 29 books to get rid of in place of these other books. So I guess that's what we're gonna do right now. Okay, folks, so it's a little bit later. I had to change because I was organizing 1,000 books and needed to wear something more comfortable. And I tied back my hair. And I realized that, we're gonna turn the camera around, that I've essentially got a whole shit ton of books over here in the little corner of my apartment that essentially I decided a way long ago that I wanted to unhaul, and I've been slowly selling them on Facebook Marketplace. However, obviously, I still have them, so I'm going to pull out the ones that were involved with this video, and also I'm gonna use some of the ones that I've already technically unhauled in this video as my sacrificial books. So we are going to put all this together on my carpet. Hello folks. Okay, so I have successfully organized all the books here. Over there in that back corner are the books that I read that I want to keep. I could not for the life of me find the X-Hex, so I think I already unhauled it. So that means I can't use it as one of the books to sacrifice, but that's okay. I still have Value for Aunties, and I moved it to the sacrificial book for Everything I Never Told You, because I can't find the Boat People. And now I've gathered all of the other books that I have that I want to unhaul around me so that I can use them as sacrificial books. So we're gonna carefully put them in and then scan them under my unhaul collection in my Libib. I'm doing a different video where I also scan my whole book collection, so it actually helps out to scan the books that I'm gonna unhaul so that I know that I have them and need to unhaul them, if that makes sense. Okay, let's get to scanning. Okay, so I finished scanning books and matching up ones that I wanted to unhaul with ones that I wanted to keep. And honestly, I'm pretty proud of myself because A, I'm getting rid of a bunch of books that I don't want around anymore. And I am also forcing myself to think more about the books that I want. A lot of the books that I did end up unhauling from the list of books that were on that TBR were books that had been sent to me. So I actually hadn't bought a lot of them. So at least there's that consolation. And then a lot of the ones that I want to unhaul in place of the ones I want to keep were also ones that were sent to me or just ones that I've had for a really long time and that I no longer feel like reading either. I am going to be putting up a form for my bindery members to let me know which books they would like, and I'm going to send out some of them. And then the rest, I will be doing my usual thing, donating to libraries or schools or whatever, and then also selling some on Facebook Marketplace for the ones that I bought myself, and just going from there. I am really happy with how this experiment turned out. And although I'm annoyed with myself for not reading as many of these as I wanted to, I do think that now that I've done this once, doing it again for another year will be quite interesting. So I'm definitely going to be coming out with a video of books, probably less this time, not 66, probably a lot less, of books that I need to read within 2025. And if I don't, then I'll need to unhaul them. So stay tuned for that video. It'll essentially be my physical TBR for 2025, and hopefully I actually get through most or more of them this time. I think I'll probably cap the list at around 20 to 30 books, but we'll see. Hello friends, it's been about a week, maybe more, since I filmed my reaction and since I started scanning all of my books. Since then, I've developed a much better tracking system through Notion for all of my books, including the ones that I have in my physical collection. And like I promised, I did put up a forum on my bindery community for my members to claim a book or more from my unhaul. And so I actually just spent a few minutes organizing those into little stacks for each person based off of their rankings of which books they wanted. I'm hoping to send each person at least one book, maybe more. It's gonna depend on shipping, to be honest. And I honestly thought it was just a really fun and nice thing to do for the new year, and everyone gets a nice new little book, and I get to get rid of the extra books that are in my apartment. But I am waiting for mailers to come in the mail because I just ordered them. So I did want to wrap up this video and just say that I'm really happy I did this in the end. And I will be filming my 2025 physical TBR that I will have to unhaul if I don't read by the end of this year. So stay tuned for that. And I feel like I would love to hear from all of you. Are there any books that I unhauled in this video that you're like, why did you do that? You should have kept it. Are there any books that you know I have on my shelves that you've seen in a previous book haul that you think should be on my 2025 physical TBR? Let me know. I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this entire process, and if you thought it was fun to see this follow-up, so let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you so much to my bindery members for supporting me and my channel and being here and being along for the ride. And I hope that if you aren't a bindery member, you might be considering joining sometime soon. You can support me, my channel, support the books that I'm publishing with my imprint Boundless Press, and a lot more. I will see you guys in my next video, and please remember that this story ain't over. Bye.